When you think about the joy and entertainment that going to a sporting event is supposed to provide, what happened in the seventh inning at PNC Park on Wednesday night is just about as sad as it gets. That 21-year-old fan who fell precisely 21 feet on his head onto the warning track is still in critical condition now more than 24 hours later as I record this. I don't know any more than that, and that information, it might change by the hour or by the minute as you eventually watch this. I certainly hope for the best, but like a lot of you who witnessed that video in disbelief over and over again, I'm also fearing the absolute worst. I also want to take a few steps back to remind ourselves what is not important right here, right now, especially the initial speculation from some that this may have been more intentional than a complete accident. At this point, with doctors and a medical team doing everything they can to simply save a life, and the hurt and grieving and pain that this person's family is going through at the very same moment, intent is like a million miles away from anything that actually matters right now. I was also hoping this person's identity would not be revealed so quickly, but here in 2025, you knew that anonymity would not last long. Too many people are going to dig and search and give quotes about this person, and hopefully it's all tasteful and respectful, but you just never know. Even knowing his name, I've chosen not to use any photos here of the actual incident itself because I don't think any of that helps my message. You've already seen it. And I actually think that Andrew McCutcheon's reaction here also says more than enough. I realize there's also the prevailing questions of how could this possibly even happen? Was alcohol the main factor? Are the railings simply too low in Pittsburgh's right field? Did the fans simply get overexcited and slip? It could have been one of those things. It could have been some of those things or all of those things combined, or in fact, none of those things. We'll find out eventually, but it's almost like we're trying to talk ourselves out of the fact that what we saw happened. Like it did happen and we saw it happen, but we can't believe it happened. It was also a little disappointing to see some use this moment on social media as the chance for humor, or even to make a crack at, how poorly Pittsburgh's baseball team has been run lately. There's plenty of time for edgy humor in sports, and trust me, there's plenty of legitimate criticism to be launched at sports owners who are terrible to their customers, but this just wasn't the moment for either of those things. What does matter, this person has parents. This person could have siblings, maybe even a spouse at 21 years old, all of whom could have seen exactly what transpired the other night, just like you and I did. How are they supposed to ever unexperience that trauma, even if all of this eventually works out for the best? That person who fell is still a person who, in the early 2000s, was a baby, who once needed their shoes tied, their lunch made, and their bedtime stories read to them. Any parent knows exactly what I'm saying right now. So much love and effort certainly went into raising this kid, and every one of those fans who attended PNC Park on Wednesday night. And usually they all go home in routine fashion, but this time the odds went terribly against this one fan. I too wish I could unsee what I was simply scrolling past, this horrible tragedy the other night when I was putting my own son to bed. I wish that social media, and quite honestly, even traditional media, gave us a little bit more warning or protection from being exposed to something so graphic right on our phone screen. I was literally just looking for a hockey score, and instead might have come across the accident that could have ended a life. It's not exactly what I signed up for. There's not a whole lot that we can all take away from this besides, well, the obvious reminders to take care of ourselves and take care of each other, to be as responsible as you possibly can. Look, we'll never prevent every single accident from happening in the world, but if you do see someone who might feel like they're on the wrong side of a risk at a sporting event, just say something to the right people and don't ever regret that.